Hello and welcome to another edition of the SHU Sports Report. I'm Diana Cannizzaro.
And I'm Gino Ganello. Diana, we had quite the amount of Sacred Heart sports this past week. Why don't you get us started with some women's hoops?
Gino, you would think that the women's basketball team was really going to have an easy win on Saturday, hosting a Wagner team that has been on a 15-game losing streak, but that was not the case. The Seahawks gained quite a lead in the start of the first quarter as they held Sacred Heart scoreless in the first 2 minutes. Catherine Haynes got the first set of points on the board for the Pioneers, and the first quarter ended with a low score of 11-8 with Wagner on top. Tempo picked up for the Pioneers. Kelsey Castro played a big role in that, giving them a 10-point run to go up at the half 23-22. From there on out, SHU gained some energy, and the team scored 13 points to take a 4-point lead heading into the final quarter. Then Wagner got on an 8-5 run and had back-to-back layups to bring the score within 1. With just a minute left, Adacia Williams hit a jumper to tie the game at 46. Without enough time left in regulation, the game went into overtime, and after back-and-forth exchanges at the basket, SHU took the lead with a Haynes 3. A steal from Adacia Williams opens a layup for Haynes, extending Sacred Heart's lead 53-50. With their eyes set on a win, Sacred Heart forced a turnover as Hannah Kimmel blocked a Wagner layup. Well, that block led to a Kimmel 3, putting the game out of the reach of Wagner. SHU would walk away with the win 62-52. The women's basketball team most recently hosted Mount St. Mary's on Monday night, and even with the Pioneers putting points on the board first, the Mountaineers took an early lead in the first quarter. In the second, both teams exchanged baskets as Mount St. Mary's went into the half up 24-21. Catherine Haynes, who's been a key player to this team, got things kicked off in the second half. She took a pass from Williams for a layup to give the Pioneers some momentum. Pioneers looked to hold the lead in the third quarter as Kimmel, the leading scorer for the Pios, made a jump shot, pushing their lead to 3, 27-24. The lead wasn't held for long as the Mount came back, taking the lead and holding it through. The third quarter, with the help of Tykera Carter, the Pioneers took a 1-point lead with 6.5 minutes left in regulation. It was a fight from there as the Mountaineers took the lead again with a 5-point run to make it a 4-point game. With 23 seconds left and SHU down by just 1, Shelby Hickey came in to save the team and hit a huge 3 right when they needed it, making it 47-45. Then with only 24 seconds left in the game, the Pioneers were able to fend off the Mount, clinching the win 49-45. The Pioneers will be back at home this Saturday to take on the LIU Brooklyn Blackbirds.
Quite the nail-biting finish to both of those games.
Yep, absolutely. I know they really pulled off some great wins this past week. Why don't we take a break from SHU hoops and hit the ice with women's ice hockey?
Definitely. The women's ice hockey team has been on quite a roll as of late, going into this past weekend 14-8-1. The Pioneers followed up their great performance last week with another one this past weekend as they went down to Maryland to take on Stevenson University. Both goalies looked unbeatable, keeping the game scoreless heading into the second period. It wasn't long before Carly Radovich and Tegan Ketchum combined for the Pioneers' first goal of the game and Radovich's 4th on the season. From there, the Pioneers would not look back, scoring 2 more goals in the third period to wrap up a 3-0 victory on the road. Radovich would finish with the game with 2 goals on 6 shots. Goalie Devin Kane would earn post-game honors, making 23 saves in her first shutout performance of her career. The Pioneers would stay hot heading into their game on Saturday. Freshman defenseman Jane Lewis would open up the scoring with a power play goal to put SHU up 1-0 into the second. That's where the Pioneers hit their stride, finding the net 2 more times on the power play, both by Taylor Moreland, giving Sacred Heart a 3-0 lead. Stevenson would get one back midway through the second period to cut the deficit to 2, but the Pioneers didn't think twice as they scored 3 more goals before the period was over. A quiet third period would give Sacred Heart the 6-1 victory and their 4th in a row. Taylor Moreland and Jane Lewis both finished the game with 2 goals and an assist, earning them post-game honors as the 1st and 2nd stars. The women's ice hockey team looks to keep the streak alive as they welcome Lebanon Valley College to town for a weekend series starting tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. For more on SHU sports, let's send it over to our first segment of the Update Corner with our very own Brian Duane. Brian?
Thanks, Gino. The Sacred Heart's women's swimming and diving team bested their crosstown rival Fairfield for the second straight season on Saturday afternoon. The Pioneers defeated the Stags 168 to 125 to extend their dual meet record to 7-1 on the year. Freshman duo Lauren Somers and Kim Highland both earned individual wins on Saturday. The Pioneers closed the meet, setting a new pool record in the 200-meter freestyle relay. Kaylee Dion, Olivia Dekas, Jill Crosby, and Somers combined to touch at a minute and 50.6 seconds, besting the 8-year-old mark by nearly 2 seconds. SHU has a busy weekend ahead as they travel to Monmouth tomorrow and then return home Saturday to host CCSU. Both the men's and women's fencing team open up their 2017 season this weekend at the Penn Invitational hosted by Penn. The women's team picked up their only win of the day against Drew University 14-13. Sacred Heart was trailing 11-7 after the foil and epi bouts, but they then won 7 of their 9 saber bouts to beat Drew. Senior Julia Green won all 3 of her bouts in the saber, but finished the day 2-1 against UNC and NYU. The men's team picked up their only win, just like the women, against Drew. Led by senior James Turner and junior Tyler Endy, who both went 3-0 in the foil, helped SHU pick up the win. James Hosey was perfect in all 3 of his epi bouts. The Pioneers dropped a close duel against North Carolina 14-13. Endy was also perfect in the foil, as was teammate Dante Centerno, going 3-0 in epi. The Pioneers are back in action February 4th at Yale. Last Saturday, Sacred Heart Track and Field traveled up to Boston for the Boston University multi-team meet. Both the men's and women's team had a fine outing as they faced off against strong competitors against Boston College, Boston University, and UMass Lowell. Starting off with women's track and field, Kayla Lawrence took first in the 400 meters and qualified for the New England Indoor Championships and the ECACs. Lawrence earned the NEC Track Athlete of the Week with her win. Selena Sampiri took the top spot in pole vault event, while Marina D'Amelia took first in the weight throw and second in the shot put. Nicole Bartosz took second in the long jump, while Jacqueline Thorne placed third in the 800 meters and qualified for the New England Indoor Championships. An additional 15 Pioneers placed in the top 5 in their respective events. Men's track and field had similar success in their events as Gufim Dufresne took first in the 60 meters finals. Dufresne has taken first in the last 2 outings in the 60 meters, only 200 seconds away from his personal best. Christian Turner took first in the weight throw event, while Conrad Flores took second in the triple jump. Sebastian Pierre placed second in the 400 meters and qualified for the Indoor Championships. Along with Joshua Beloff and Dufresne, an additional 11 Pioneers placed in the top 5 of their respective events. Sacred Heart Track and Field travels back to Boston tomorrow for the John Terrier Invitationals. We'll have more from the update corner later. For now, let's send it to Aaron Burrell, who's sitting with Tom O'Malley of the women's ice hockey team. Aaron?
I'm here with Tom O'Malley, the head coach of the women's ice hockey team. Thanks for joining us today, Coach.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Right, now, after finishing under 500 last year, your team is now 16-8-1, your highest win total since 2013. What would you say has been the keys to success this season?
Yeah, well, first of all, we have a really good group. I mean, we have good people on our team, good students, good hockey players, and that just contributes to the overall that we have going on this year. So really happy with what we've been doing this year.
A player who's having an absolutely sensational season is Taylor Moreland. She's approaching 20 goals on the year. How much is her performance affecting the team, and what does it mean to the team?
Yeah, Taylor's a very special player, and she, plays on our first line. She's on our first power play, our first PK, and she plays in the critical moments of the game, along with many of our other players here too. But Taylor, she's number 2 in the nation right now with goals scored, and she just brings it every day. She's just that type of a player. She's got a lot of speed, a lot of skill, a lot of know-how, and I'm happy she's playing for us. So.
Definitely. Now, you guys are 8-2 in the month of January and 11-2 in the last 13 games. What is it going to take to continue going on this hot streak and taking it into the NEHC Open Tournament at the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we just need to keep it going. We have, like I mentioned, we have a very good team, and we need to keep our focus, both mentally and physically, and just keep bringing it. Practice hard, and we want to finish at the top. So that's what our focus is.
All right. Now, what does hosting the NEHC Open Tournament mean for the program?
Yeah, it's going to give us some home ice advantage. We've played many of these teams already this year. We've beat some of them, and we've had some close games in the losses, and we know we can beat those teams too. So we have the team this year that can hopefully get it done.
All right. Now, this weekend is Military Appreciation Weekend. Could you tell us a little bit more about your work with Home for the Brave?
Yes, one of our players, Amy Verano, she's our captain. She's driven this, and she's been behind finding this organization, Home for the Brave. There's an office out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, and we're going to raise some money for them. We have camouflage jerseys that have been made up, SHU camouflage jerseys, and we're going to sell those after we're done with our 2 games this year. It's a very special weekend. We have an ROTC military honor guard, with cadets here from Sacred Heart that will be on the ice for the national anthem on Friday night. We have some of the players' parents that have served in the military that are going to be at the game and on hand on the ice for a pregame, ceremonial face-off. And it's just a very special, weekend for us, and the team's really been looking forward to it. So.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the servicemen and women thank you for your effort in helping them out.
Happy to be doing this for them because we appreciate them.
All right, well, we want to thank you, Coach, for taking some time and talking to us today and giving us a little bit of insight into the team in the postseason. We want to wish you good luck this weekend against Lebanon Valley.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
And make sure to head out to the Sports Center of Connecticut for a 2-game series starting on Friday the 27th at 7:30.
Thanks, Aaron. I hope to see everyone out there supporting the women's ice hockey team. Moving from the rinks to the Pitt Center, the Sacred Heart men's volleyball team welcomed 2 opponents to the Pitt Center last weekend. On Friday night, the Pioneers squared off against Fort Wayne, sweeping the Macedones in 3 tough sets. Sophomore Taylor Bloomquist had a perfect kill percentage, going 8 for 8. Senior Michael Collins recorded 13 kills on the night to lead the Pioneers. SHU looked to carry over their momentum into Saturday night as they faced off against the 13th ranked Ball State. The Cardinals got off to a hot start, taking the first set 25-18. The Pioneers bounced back to a fall competitive second set 25-22. SHU battled in the third set, eventually falling 27-25. Emerson Womans led SHU with 13 kills. Noah Arquette recorded 20 assists. SHU enjoys an early week off before hosting 4 straight matches at the Pitt Center starting Thursday, February 2nd through Sunday, February 5th. The men's tennis team is back in action for the new year when they traveled to West Point to face off against Army and Marist. Freshman C.G. Hosokawa defeated Nikita Preverzin 6-2 and 6-3 in singles for the lone win of the day against the Army. Corey Seltman and Derek Chapman dropped a tough doubles match against Marist 6-7. The Pioneers will be back in action on February 17th against Fordham. Bowling got their 2017 season rolling as they traveled to Reading, Pennsylvania for the 2017 Cutsdown Golden Bear Invitational. The 11th ranked Pioneers placed 9th out of 26 teams, posting a 9-6 match during the weekend. 17 of those teams were among the nation's top 25 ranked programs. Sacred Heart turned a slow first day with an impressive second day performance. That performance allowed the Pioneers to clinch the 9th entering into bracket play. On Sunday, SHU put themselves into contention for 7th place with an opening against LIU Brooklyn. But that wouldn't be the last time they saw LIU. With a loss at Tulane in the second round, SHU found themselves facing the Blackbirds once again. The match went down to the best of 7 as the final shots clinched, SHU with the win 4-3. Senior Sarah Rhodes led Sacred Heart with a .214 game average, earning her second team tournament honors, while placing 8th individually. SHU bowling returns February at the EIBC tournament. For the latest in Sacred Heart wrestling, we have our very own Corey Sullivan headed down to the Pitt Center.
I'm here at the William H. Pitt Center where the men's wrestling team hosted a pair of dual meets today, taking on Franklin and Marshall in Bloomsburg. Leading the Pioneers were Alex Harnsberger and Elliot Antler, both ending the day 2-0. In the opening match, the Pioneers got things started with a pin from Gerard Daly and Harnsberger. Antler would grab a win in overtime, but it wouldn't be enough as the Pioneers ended the duel 28-21, falling to Bloomsburg. In the last match of the day, Franklin and Marshall got off to a quick start, jumping to 12-0 lead. Brandon Levesky would get the Pioneers on the board first, picking up a 13-7 decision. The Diplomats would go on to rally off a pair of wins as Sacred Heart's John Hartnett closed out the night with a fall in the first period. The Pioneers would fall to Franklin and Marshall 25-18. The Pioneers are back at the William H. Pitt Center next Saturday as they host the Binghamton Bearcats at 5 o'clock p.m. For the SHU Sports Report, I'm Cody Sullivan.
That's all we have for this week's Update Corner. I'm Adam Chambers. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Adam. The men's ice hockey team had a couple games over this past weekend. Why don't you get us all caught up?
That they did, Diana. The Pioneers hosted the front end of a home-and-home with Bentley University last Friday. Pioneers got ahead early in the first period, scoring 2 minutes into the game with Zach DeConsolis putting home a rebound off the shot from Connor Doherty. The goal was DeConsolis' first of the season. The lead would not last long, though, as the Falcons would tie the game up just 3 minutes later. The scoreline would stay at 1-1 until about halfway through the second period, when the Falcons slotted home another goal past Pioneers goalie Brett Magnus to take the 2-1 lead. Sacred Heart would get one back late in the third period off the stick of sophomore forward Stephen Ladden, but it would prove not to be enough as Bentley took the game 3-2, snapping the Pioneers' 3-game unbeaten streak. The Pioneers would ship up to Massachusetts on Saturday, where they would take on Bentley again, looking for revenge. They would get off to a hot start as both Vito Bavaro and Jordan Manello would net first period goals just over a minute apart from each other to put SHU up 2-0 heading into the second period. Manello would put away his second of the game 4 minutes into the second off the pass from fellow senior forward Justin Danforth, giving the Pioneers the 3-0 lead. The Falcons would come storming back, though, scoring back-to-back power play goals to cut Sacred Heart's lead to 3-2. But the Pioneers would not back down as Danforth would get one of his own late in the period to give the team a 4-2 lead. A goal from Stephen Ladden early in the third period would seal the deal for the Pioneers, who fended off a late comeback by Bentley to take the game 5-4 and split the weekend series 1-1. Men's ice hockey enjoys an off week to recharge late in the season before they hit the road to play a weekend series against conference foe Mercyhurst on February 3rd. The men's basketball team finally returned home after a 4-game road trip. Diana, why don't you get us caught up on how they did this past week?
Yeah, Gino, the Pioneers welcomed a formidable Mount St. Mary's team Thursday on the 19th. The Mountaineers got off to a 14-2 run and took a heavy lead 8 minutes into the game, up 25-9. They then took the largest lead around the 4-minute mark and was up by 26 points. Mount St. Mary's shot 63% from the field just in the first half and went up into the halftime 51-27. The Pioneers got some spark in the second half as they scored the first 5 points and went on a 19-0 run to come within 3 points of the Mount, 58-55. It was Quincy McKnight and Chris Robinson who combined to score 14 of those 19 points. But not only did Sacred Heart's offense pick up, but their defense held the Mountaineers to 0-4 from the field and forced 4 turnovers during the run. SHU shot 60% from the field in the second half, which was a huge comeback for them, but the Mount answered back with a 9-2 run and was not going to let them capitalize. The Pioneers fell to the Mount St. Mary's 86-75. The men's basketball team hosted Wagner on Saturday after the women's game while honoring all cancer survivors at the half. The Pioneers started off hot, up 8-5. Within a minute, Wagner came back, taking the lead by 1. SHU went on a 10-2 run over the next 3 minutes to take a 20-14 lead. They took their largest lead of the half, up by 7 at the 6-minute mark, but Wagner brought it back within 2. SHU hung on to the lead going into the half 34-29 on a last-second shot from Quincy McKnight. The second half started off well for Sacred Heart as they got ahead by 7, but Wagner then went on an 8-1 run to tie the game at 41. From here on out, they went back and forth exchanging the lead, and Davon Barnett hit a jumper to make the game even at 60 with just 2:13 to play. With the final minutes remaining, key player Quincy McKnight fouled out. Guys, this became an issue for the Pioneers, which led to the Seahawks lead, and the Pioneers fell to Wagner 67-62. The Sacred Heart men's basketball team will be back in action at home tonight to host LIU Brooklyn.
Well, Diana, as this is your last show here with us today, from all of us here at SHU Sports, we just want to wish you the best of luck in your next endeavor, and thank you for all your time here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I will miss you guys, but I'll sure to be staying in touch. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone, to this week's SHU Sports Report. For all of us here, I'm Diana Cannizzaro. Be sure to check out all of our home action starting tonight.